With his final breath, Yahiko entrusted Nagato with the Akatsuki's one mission, to pursue the subscribe button, which, once pressed, would grant all the villages with true peace, and as a nice side effect, would also grant Nagato with all of the latest anime-analyzed content. Hey friends, Akatsuki Analyzed here, and welcome back to another episode of Something of Significance. This is the series where I break down actions, objects, motifs, and characters from anime and manga. And today I wanted to talk about pain. Both the feeling of pain and the character of pain. And to get in the mood, I am wearing my Akatsuki hoodie, which my girlfriend brought me. Now, many people argue that the pain arc was in fact the best arc in all of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and I wouldn't blame them. In fact, it's stated that Kishimoto actually wanted to retire Naruto after the pain arc, but we ended up getting the war arc. And people to this day display their extreme displeasure towards the war arc. Honestly, although I love Shippuden, I have to wholeheartedly admit that the war arc just was much worse compared to others, but I argue that the war arc was extremely necessary to finish the character development of Naruto Uzumaki. And today I'm going to show you some details about pain that might actually make you feel the same way. So let's dive in and talk about the importance of pain in Naruto Shippuden. So to start things off, let's talk about Nagato, aka Pain. He is one of the most wonderfully written antagonists in all of anime and manga. He starts off as this perfect enigma, and as the story goes on, we learn his motives and his drive. He's written as a perfect antithesis to Naruto, and through him, we see a glimpse of the horrid byproducts of the Second Great Ninja War. Unlike Naruto, who grew up with nothing, Pain had to experience loss firsthand in the form of the death of his parents and then his close friend Yahiko, not too dissimilar to Sasuke. His one goal was to end the cycle of hatred by 1. Gaining unmatched power, and 2. Destroying those who currently stand in power. We see this happening in the Village of Rain, where no one dares to oppose Pain because he is this godlike existence that can kill evil at will. As the arc progresses, we become privy to more and more of Pain, slowly peeling off layers of the enigma until we are met with a person whose actions we, shockingly, understand. He is probably one of the only villains where his change of heart was actually believable. Unlike Obito, whose change of heart felt sudden and confusing, I felt like I could truly step into Nagato's shoes and see things his way. Now let's talk about why the feeling of pain is so important to the story. To make Naruto understand his motives, Nagato introduces Naruto to true pain by destroying the Leaf Village and killing those close to him, Hinata, Kakashi, etc. In doing so, he is the first person to make Naruto truly question himself and his ability to protect his friends. He removes Naruto's boisterous outer shell and exposes his naive understanding of the world. Naruto views the world in a comparatively black and white way, seeing the enemies as bad and his friends as good. He fails to understand that 1. Good and bad can depend heavily on perspective, and 2. That he is one human that cannot go save everyone. The dichotomy here is that Pain's destruction of the Leaf Village came with the direct side effect of actually protecting his own village, and this is the realization that Naruto had failed to see all along. The fact that to achieve true peace in the world, he couldn't just protect his friends, he had to fight and kill the opposing shinobi, which would cause the other side pain, thus continuing the cycle of pain. And this is why I believe that the Pain arc left the story at an incomplete crossroads. Naruto had finally gained the power to protect his friends, but he had now realized that protecting his friends came at the direct cost of having to kill those who opposed the Leaf Village. He had finally felt true loss, which would have left the story on an admittedly dark but conclusive note. However, in the end, Nagato brings his friends back to life, and instead of making Naruto truly question himself and change himself, the arc ends with the popular Naruto Talk no Jutsu, where instead of learning something, he ends up, air quotes, teaching Nagato, and thus continues to bolster up his own idealistic view of the world. I mean, Nagato asks him one important question: How does the world break out of the cycle of pain? And Naruto says, I don't know, I'll just do it. And I am culpable of developing some headcanon here, but I expected Naruto's ideals to, at some point in the future, shatter in front of his eyes. For me, the ending of this arc was not meant to be a happy ending, but rather the start of the end of a tragedy. The fact that this arc ended in such an upbeat manner, despite the fact that there were still so many stronger forces still at play, set up the war arc for some potentially hard-hitting stuff, which it almost did. I mean, Neji's death was one of those oh damn moments that worked really well, and I was expecting much more cold hard realism. But for some reason, Kishimoto decided to pull an Oda, and failed to really kill anyone else of significance. As for Naruto's character arc, well, I expected him to have an answer to the question Nagato posed to him. Unfortunately, it simply wasn't enough, and Kishimoto successfully taught an entire generation of kids that if you can talk the talk, you can eventually walk the walk. And you can like the like and subscribe the subscribe. Let me know what y'all want to see next, and I'll catch y'all later.